Pokémon Masters has once again brought us a brand new Halloween themed event, and boy am I excited because these are some great choices. Sure, Iono has been getting a lot of favoritism this entire generation given the fact that it's honestly just way too easy, but also featuring Shauntal was a great idea because she's been pretty underutilized all things considered. It was only a matter of time before she was the Ghost type trainer chosen. Their costumes are also pretty well done. There's a special genius to having Iono dress up as a Jiangshi. This is a creature from Chinese mythology that has been used in quite a few other media franchises, and there was even a scrap beta Pokemon clearly based on one, so it's great to see the concept finally make it to the world of Pocket Monsters, though I really hope that beta design gets adapted sometime in the future. Jiangshi are a type of undead creature or reanimated corpse. They're known to hop around with their arms stretched out and hands hanging loose, but they're often described as agile, flying around to devour the life force of humans, and because of that they're commonly referred to as Chinese vampires, though both of them are very distinct. The point is that incorporating the visual motif of the arms into Iono's design of long sleeves that have a similar shape is somehow a near-perfect translation. Anyway, her outfit is a greenish color with scale-like patterns all across it meant to resemble the Pokemon she eventually partners up with, that being Fluttermane. While in the video game she does have a Miss Magius as her terrestrial Pokemon, the seasonal events like this are usually meant to give characters a Pokemon they otherwise wouldn't have, so it actually works out to partner her up with a mysterious Paradox Pokemon that just so happens to look like Mischievous. Shauntal is paired up with a Frostlass from the very start. As you may already know, Frostlass is based on a yokai known as the Iono. I talked about it in a video that somehow gets more relevant with every passing day. And once again, taking Shauntal, who is normally dressed in gothic fashion, and giving her a more Japanese look to match the yokai is another piece of genius that feels so obvious, but also like something a good amount of people wouldn't have immediately thought of. In a story from Pokemon Legends Arceus, we learn of a Frostlass that disguised herself as a human woman, so it is kinda neat to get a visual of what that might have looked like. I would definitely marry her, no hesitation. Well, let's get right into the story, which is appropriately spooky. We start out by tuning into Iono's latest content where she puts on a special outfit for the occasion. She'll be spending the night diving into some spooky material. There's been a rumor going around of a shadowy figure with a long mane and feathers, and she wants to investigate. Meanwhile, Shauntal is dressed up to join the midnight parade and gather some inspiration for her newest novel, but she's having trouble really getting some good ideas. Caitlin suggests that she join Iono on her adventure and maybe that'll give her the spark that she needs. But just as she's about to introduce herself, Clara of all people shows up as well. Boy, I told you this was going to be a good one. Turns out that Clara is a big fan of Iono and wants to collab, reminding us that she used to be a pop singer. And that's a pretty fun way to bring these women together, all coming from different parts of a creative spectrum and having different personalities, but uniting through a love of Pokemon and content creation. After a bit of bickering, Iono is able to perfectly fit them both into a collab trio, asking Shauntal to narrate and Clara to stay real expressive with her reactions. So later that night they begin the expedition, and I think it's really cute with how Shauntal describes everything exactly like how it would be written in one of her novels. We always knew that her writing was fire. Meanwhile, the others are doing a great job filling out the visuals and emotion of the content. A cool little detail for Iono in general is that whenever we're looking at things through the lens of her live stream, or at least through whatever her Rotom phone is recording, the borders will change to look like her branding. I normally cut them out of videos like this because we have to zoom in, but I just want to show you that that's what's going on here. They take a little break to catch their breath and reflect on things so far when suddenly the mysterious shadow appears and they band together to battle against it. They're doing a great job working together after having bonded through their expedition and are able to get Fluttermane to calm down. Man, if only I could do that in the main series games. They get a closer look and notice that while it appears to be a Mischievous at first glance, it's actually an entirely different creature. It's a really interesting idea to see the reactions that regular people end up having to these Paradox Pokemon, because in the main series games we really only saw the core cast directly acknowledge them. But Iono brings up what she knows anyway because living in Paldea and being in the know, of course she would. Surprisingly, she decides not to go through with recording it, saying that because they ultimately know so little about Paradox Pokemon, she doesn't want to bring viral attention to it because it might end up causing more trouble for Fluttermane. Wow, an ethical YouTuber, who would have thought? I like that we get little pieces like this for Iono's character because I think a good amount of people found her to be some annoying clout chaser based on the very first that we saw of her, when the reality is she's just a normal person who really has a talent for presentation but knows when to turn the camera off and be real. Though now that they've decided to keep Fluttermane on the down low, they need an ending for their video. So Shauntal is able to write the perfect conclusion utilizing her Frostlass as the origin of her recent spooky sightings. That's such a fun way to have everybody utilize their talents. But I guess it kind of exposes Iono as scripting her content, at least for this video. When they finish recording, Fluttermane decides to stay with Iono, so the two of them are now a sync pair that you can roll for if you have enough gems, ooh! Oh, and Shauntal finally has her inspiration now and decides to write a story about the bond between a streamer and their Pokemon. I wonder if she'll be paying out any royalties for that. I really like this event. Halloween is a good opportunity to bring in weird Pokemon like this, and for me personally, who really enjoys making Halloween videos on YouTube, I got some extra enjoyment out of it. I love the presentation and writing that I get to do when making videos, so seeing that represented through Iono and Shauntal made me feel like I could really connect with them. Everything is so much better when you create something together with friends, and I think that's the message to leave off on. Well, it's about midnight, and I guess that means Halloween is officially over. But it wasn't a total bust, we got to see a real ghost. Trust me, next year is going to be the biggest bash you've ever seen. We're going to have even more lights. There's going to be more Pikachu. We're going to have the good cookies this time. Guys? So let me know what you thought about this event in Pokemon Masters and what else you'd like to see going forward for the game. Also, between Iono and Shauntal, let me know which of their costumes is your favorite. Like I said, I'll try and talk about some of these events more often when they pique my interest, and I always love the fall events getting to be all fun and spooky. Anyway, I should really get back to recording some of my very own spooky videos. Thank you to every channel member for your continued support, including the great Gators, Alex Switch Shiny Hunter, Tyler Hopper, Jake Brody, GigaWiiU64, Isabella Lawrence, Alive R360, Nani, The Shoeman, Copybot, Master, Chaotic Sasano, 02, Lockadox, Koi13, Cemetery Hill, Pastel Blood, Cosmo 0, Rainfrux, Cheez-It62, GatorKid 509, TF, Mathaclock947, Taijirai, Justin R, Phantom, and Quago. If you would like to support, see your name here, get access to emotes for comments, live streams, and sometimes early videos, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter as well for more memes. Anyway, this is GatorX, and I'll catch you all later.
Cliffhanger week on Pokémon! Brock is turned into a doll, these Gyarados want to eat Pikachu, and Ash has been turned into a ghost! Will everything be okay? We don't know!
What?
We don't know! The episodes all ended before we could find out what happened!
But I want to know!
Right! Tune in to Pokémon Cliffhanger Week to find out, starting Monday morning!